What a shocker. What a terrible game of football. To quote Big Al, you know which game is last on Match of the Day tonight. 0-0 with Leeds. Where to start? Fan turmoil. Chants of Isak in the crowd. Lining up with 5 at the back at Elland Road. I did say in my match preview that they'd match us for our intensity. They outmatched us with intensity. I thought, fair play to Leeds. Fair play to Leeds. They come out, they shut us down. We look like we came out with the idea that we didn't want to be there. We didn't turn up. We looked bereft of ideas up front. We looked like we had no finish, no ideas, no creativity in the final third. We just look lost. Like there's a missing piece to the puzzle, and we all know there is. I think Eddie Howe starting out playing 5 at the back, we looked like we were going into this game just to try and make sure we didn't lose. And I can understand, if you look across the Premier League, they say, win your home games. If you can take points from your away games, brilliant. If you can't, just don't lose. But 3 games into the season, a loss and 2 draws, 2 goalless draws. We look like we're going to struggle if we don't start to make moves in the transfer window. I mean, Voltmada coming in, we'll see. We've got big expectations and he looks an exciting player. But there's still definitely some things to sort out. I don't know if it's because the high of Monday night and being so geared up for that game with it, all the hype surrounding it and the transfer looming. I don't know if that's just taking a toll on the players, but they just didn't turn up today. The only players I can give credit to is Nick Pope. Nick Pope saved us a couple of times. As ropey as he looks with his feet, he does the job at stopping the shots. And I'd probably say Dan Burn still give 100%. I thought Fabian Schär looked like our most likely to score, which is ridiculous that, a centre-back looks like he has the most striker's instinct in the team. Jacob Murphy, I thought he should come back in today. I think he needs more game time. When Elanga came on, I thought, who is this player? That's not the Elanga we've seen for the first 2 games. His crossing was poor. His touch was off. He looked like a completely different player, like he's lost his head. I thought Jacob Ramsey had moments where he looked okay, but not what I was expecting. We lost the midfield battle. We completely lost the midfield battle. Part of me was watching the game thinking, have we set up like this because Sean Longstaff knows our tactics? Sean Longstaff will have told them how we play, how we'll set up the runs, the positions, the movement, the game plan, and we've tried to adapt to do something different to catch Leeds off guard, but we didn't catch them off guard. I thought Sean Longstaff played his heart out today, which is typical. Is one of the things I said in the match preview. We have to, hope that Sean doesn't have a good game, and I thought he did. I thought they closed us down well. They pressed us well. I thought in the first half we had 10, 15 minutes where we controlled possession and looked like we were starting to come into the game. And then once again, just no ideas in that final third. They put the ball into that box and there is no one trying to beat the first man and get in there to score. It's incredibly frustrating. I mean, the last 30 minutes, when we swapped back to a 4-3-3, we looked more creative, but it's still not there. Still not there. And I think Eddie Howe, he'll hold his hands up and say he got it wrong tonight. I think Leeds will walk away from this game thinking, brilliant, grabbed a point against the Champions League side. And really, we don't look like a Champions League side. I mean, we can't go into the start of this season, this Champions League campaign and Premier League campaign, with Will Asula as our backup striker. It's time they sit down, move quickly, get the deals done, get somebody else through the door. And I wasn't that fixed on having Wissa as our first choice striker, but the only thing I can say is he is Premier League proven. And if Voltemada doesn't come in hitting the ground running, you need somebody there that's got Premier League proven background to come in and get some goals. Otherwise, we are really going to struggle. I don't want to damn it too early. 3 games in, 2 points. But after the international break, we really need to kick on. Otherwise, this is going to slip away from us very quickly. I think there's a feeling in the club. It seemed like we were totally together, all pulling in the right direction. Good atmosphere. Everything was going for us apart from that, just that bit of luck, that final third, that missing that key of having a striker there. But we should have had enough quality on that pitch today to beat Leeds, to put them away. And if anything, I thought Leeds were unlucky not to walk away with something. I thought both teams just lacked in that final third. I think it was a ball draw. I think it's probably one of the worst games of football I've sat through. Not an Eddie Howe style of game, not an Eddie Howe style of performance. I think he'll be disappointed. The other thing being the transfer saga of Alex Isak looming over the top of the club. I get it puts a cloud over the club. I get we've had a little lift that Voltemada's come in and the fans chanting with regards to Isak. Some, understandable unrest in the fan base. But we can't use that as an excuse as to not winning games. We can't use one man as an excuse. One man doesn't make a team. And no matter how good he is, while we could all sit here and say if he was in that team for the last 3 games, we think we would have taken, I don't know, probably 7 points, maybe even 9 points. You can't put everything on one man. He's not what we want at the club, not the right player, not the right character, as we found out this year. But this team on paper is good enough to have got more points out of these games than we have. Liverpool, we were fantastic. Villa, we were unlucky. Today, we were poor. We were poor. Voltemada sat in the stands tonight. Not a first great game for him to see. I mean, he must be walking in thinking, I watched them on Monday night and they were fantastic. What's happened in 4 days? At the end of the day now, we need to take this time, use the international break, work hard over that international break to get things sorted. They definitely need to get one striker, maybe even a centre midfielder in, and fix this problem as quickly as they can. Otherwise, I feel this is going to slip away from us. We don't want to be going into the middle of September, having just found out we played Barcelona as our first game on the 18th. If we turn up like that against Barcelona, we're in for a shock. We're in for an absolute shock. But not to be too down and negative about it. I think we have to kind of stick together as a fan base, see this transfer window out. Hopefully by Monday this will all be dead and buried. We can move on and we'll have an idea of where we go in the future. I think if we're trying to look for a positive, too many changes. You've got a lot of lads coming in who aren't used to that setup. They're not used to that formation. They're not even used to playing in the team with Jacob Ramsey, Asula. You're expecting probably a little bit too much from them too soon. From Eddie's point of view, I think the positives are that the window closes on Monday, and hopefully, you know, this will all be over. That we've got the international break now. We couldn't have a better time to have the international break, so we can get back on the training pitch and work on figuring out some of the problems. Give time for Joe Linton to come back. We sorely missed him in the midfield today. You can tell as soon as Joey's not there. You can tell if there's a man that will give you the win the midfield battle, the hunger, the desire, he's the one. But yeah, I think we just looked tired. Like Monday night had just completely sapped us of energy. But we'll leave it there. If you like the video, give me a like and a sub, and hopefully the next time we'll have some better news.